So as a sexologist who only works with men, I see the frustration in men when it comes to them dealing with problems like premature ejaculation, erectile dysfunction, delayed ejaculation, body image issues, etc. And a tool that helps with all of these things, it will dissipate all of these problems, is mindful masturbation. What that means is getting porn out of the way, seriously limiting your porn activity or getting rid of it altogether, and putting yourself in this frame of mind where you're like, I'm gonna reacquaint myself with my body and familiarize myself with my arousal phases so I can start focusing on my pleasure and stop focusing on the pressure or the expectations that need to come from sex, or that I've been taught need to come from sex. Because so many of you guys have been wired to have certain visual expectations, to have her do something specific, like when she orgasms and you have to get her there and you have to be this big and your ejaculate has to be this much. And there's all these pressures of how you're viewing sex, when really, if you viewed it from a place of this is fun, this is building a connection with someone, this is something I enjoy doing, this is something I get excited for. When you start having those types of thoughts, sex becomes less about the pressure and more about the pleasure, more about what it's supposed to be about. So how do you get to naturally think that way and see sex this way? Well, a lot of it has to do with your thoughts, which I'm going to tie to the mindful masturbation practice. First, you want to catch your thoughts. You want to understand, okay, what am I continuously thinking of when it comes to sex? What ideas or thoughts pop in my head continuously? And these thoughts might sound like, I hope I'm able to come tonight. I hope I don't come too soon. I hope she's still into me after sex. Should I have sex? I'm nervous to have sex. I don't know about this. I hope I can perform, right? And there's a lot of doubt in many of you who struggle with one of these main three issues, PE, ED, and DE. So you want to start catching these thoughts and you want to change them to thoughts that actually work for you and your sex life in a way that leads to pleasure. Because all these thoughts are doing are promoting anxiety. They're promoting doubt. They're putting you in this place of uncertainty and lack of confidence. They're not boosting your confidence. They're not helping you be more present. They're putting you in a state of fear and uncertainty. And that's not a good feeling. That's not the feeling that aligns with pleasure. So if you want to start the first thing, aligning sex with pleasure, you want to catch these thoughts and you want to replace them with thoughts that work for you. So if right now you're having consistent thoughts that sound like, oh man, I hope I'm able to come tonight. Maybe you catch yourself and you're like, you know what, I'm just going to have a good time. She's so sexy. I'm so turned on by her. I'm just excited to be with her. And you just catch it and you change it to that thought. That's you taking control over rewiring your thoughts and starting to see sex in a way that's like, hey, I'm just gonna be there in the moment. I just wanna feel good with her. And that's what I'm gonna aim to do. Because that's in your control. For you to be in a place where you're feeling good, that can come in multiple ways. It doesn't have to just come via penetration. And a lot of guys forget that because when you view porn, it's like the penetration and the explosive ejaculation is the main event. And it's like, that's usually the end of it. And then it's like, you don't even know if she comes, and most of the time she doesn't. Female porn stars have shared that they really don't. So it's really a matter of you reprogramming your thoughts to get to the point of easing into a sex experience so that you are actually excited, so that you do actually feel good and you're present with your partner and you're in the moment, which leads to you having more control over your orgasms too. When I tell my clients and when I tell my audience, whatever content I produce, whenever I'm saying don't make orgasm the goal, my reason is not for you guys to never orgasm. Like, orgasms are great, but the whole point is to take that orgasm out of the spotlight and just put pleasure in the spotlight so that you take the pressure off yourself and you're more likely to orgasm. And when you're more present with her and you take the pressure off you, she's more likely to actually orgasm. There's a huge orgasm gap right now when it comes to women and men. Most women are faking it. I think it's about 75% have faked it, but many women get in this habit of faking and wanting to get it over with because they sense their male partners not fully being in the experience with them. So it just doesn't feel great because where is he? He's mentally like, all right, the goal is to orgasm, get to orgasm. He's not present. He's not there with her. He's not actually connecting. So the sex feels distant. It gets boring. It feels like weird. So she just wants out. She's not enjoying it. This is why it's so important to make pleasure and connection the goal, which is something, once again, you can control. There are many forms of pleasure that don't have to do with your hard erection, that don't have to do with having an explosive orgasm or ejaculation. Pleasure comes in many forms, right? And that could be massage and touch. That could be making out and just laying there together and taking a break that's just like very tantalizing and just builds arousal again because you're breaking, but you're still desiring each other, So tying this back to mindful masturbation means you now have more positive thinking around sex. So when you're masturbating, you're more paying attention to your body. You're paying attention to what thoughts that you create yourself based on a realistic experience in your mind get you hard and get you horny and make you feel really good. What desires are coming into play? When you're playing with thoughts and you have to create them yourself, where are the thoughts going? Desire-wise, what are you thinking about? What are you wanting to happen with your partner the next time? What do you want to try? What's like the smallest step? Play around with what this looks like so that you actually start getting off to realistic thoughts and realistic potential experiences that you can get excited for. Actually tie your arousal to these thoughts. So this is a new way to reprogram your mind so that you're not just jerking off mindlessly to porn and not thinking about your desires, not getting in tune or present with your body, and creating a new goal around sex, which is pleasure and connection and fun and just feeling good and just being there and having a super sexy time. So when you're building this new relationship with your mind and body during solo masturbation, you will bring that into your next sexual encounter with a partner. You will be more at ease. You'll feel more confident because you're like, I've been really in tune, like really paying attention and present with my own body. I know what desires I want to share with my partner. I know what things I want to do. Guys, when you practice visualization, it's kind of like you're really practicing, and you're getting familiar with like the feelings and the sensation when you really think about something intentionally. So it sort of does feel like you've been there, done that, which increases your confidence and increases your presence with your partner. So this is why so many guys will tell me, oh my God, I've done your sex meditations, or I've done mindful masturbation like you told me to do specifically, and I had a stronger hard on. I had more ejaculation. I felt more present with my partner when we had sex. I didn't even know I could do that. I was capable of having an orgasm without porn. Like I did this for the first time and I'm 35 or I'm 55. Like just crazy things where you guys have just not been taught to be able to do this yourself and come up with these ideas yourself. So I hope that gives you a good idea of what mindful masturbation is and the importance of replacing the thoughts around sex that are not working for you with ones that are working for you. And those two changes will make a drastic impact. And I know I didn't dive into the specifics of how to masturbate mindfully for PE, ED, or DE. You could check out my masturbation meditations or my sex meditations, which will be really helpful for helping you to reflect in a healthy way when it comes to your sex life and really increase your arousal, your stamina, your erections, maybe your ejaculation. Subscribe to the sex meditations in the description below, and I'll talk to you soon.